com/national.
Hello, everybody. I'm Reed Duke. I'm here with Jelger Wiegersma. We're coming to you from Kyoto, Japan. How you doing, Jelger?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Yeah, it's morning for us here. I've been awake since 4 a.m., suffering from horrible jet lag. But it's probably nighttime for most of our viewers, although I guess it could be from any part of the world. But yeah. We've been in town for a few days practicing for the Pro Tour, getting ready. Today, we have sort of a break from that in getting to play the Team Draft Super League. But yeah, at least it's exciting to be able to use the new Hour of Devastation cards. I think this is only the second week on Team Draft Super League where we've been drafting with Hour. What do you think of the new set, Jelger?
Yeah, I like it so far. I haven't been doing too well in my practice drafts, but yeah, no, it's a nice change from the previous format. I'm enjoying it. How about you?
I like it too. It seems things maybe slowed down a little bit from Triple Amonkhet, which, though it's a pretty popular format, I think that would be most people's main complaint, is just sometimes you have those games where it's like exert, you're dead, and that happens slightly less often now with Hour of Devastation.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot less good 2-drops, so yeah, it's definitely a bit slower.
How did today's draft go for you?
Today's draft? My deck, I really like my deck. I think it's very good.
You weren't by chance green and black, were you?
That's possible. Thanks for some nice cards, yeah. How about you? You're blue-red, maybe?
No, I have a white-black zombies deck.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, good read by me. How about Yui's deck? Yui and Hron are playing now, right?
Yeah, that's the match we're going to watch right now. Huey has a 3-color teamer deck, sort of like a big mana type deck, and not sure about Mike.
Yeah, Mike is like a red-white beatdown deck. His deck looks pretty good to me. He's got good creatures. He's really fast, and yeah, should be pretty good.
Yeah, let's hope for some good matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're ready to go, so let's see the match. Okay, so we're going to watch William Jensen versus Mike Hron. We gave you a little taste of what the matchup's going to be. Huey has a 3-color sort of ramp-style deck, and Mike has an aggressive red-white deck. This worries me a little bit because although I do think Huey's deck is strong, this might be the weakness. Somebody who has a fast draw and can punish his sketchy mana.
Looks like Mike's mulliganing though, and his hand doesn't look great unless he gets a mountain pretty fast.
Yeah.
He does have
and he also has his absolute strongest card against aggro, which is Sweltering Suns, that we all know about, being able to look at the hands, but remember, they don't have each other's deck list for round one, so that could potentially take Mike by surprise.
Yeah, that could be bad at some point. Okay, we did find a second land, and this Pouncer is a nice 2-drop.
The Pouncer is really nice, especially since you can put Cartouche of Solidarity on it next turn.
Yeah, that'll do a lot of damage real fast.
Huey found Island, which is perfect because that means in combination with Vizier of Tumbling Sands, he can also assemble double red mana if he needs it. But it looks like this turn he decides to sit on Supreme Will.
Yeah, makes sense. Keep the Cycler for the Sweltering Suns. Do an Impulse.
So that was a little bit of an interesting turn. Mike decided not to attack with the Adorned Pouncer, potentially just doesn't want to lose his high-value creature in the face of 3 open mana.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. It would also mean that Yui would get to attack with the what's it called? His 3/1.
Yeah, and of course Mike doesn't want to trade 3/1 since the Oketra's Avenger has such an advantage attacking compared to blocking.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But so Huey's draw's developing nicely. He found a Granitic Titan off of the Supreme Will, and then cast Vizier of Tumbling Sands to set up to cast it on turn 5.
Yeah, it's looking kind of rough for us. I'm sure Yui can just start casting giant monsters and then eventually Sweltering Suns to clear the board.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty simple recipe against a white-red deck that's stalled on mana.
Yeah. Yeah, this does not look good for us. Not even sure if we can draw anything. So even if we draw mountains, we just play 3 toughness creatures. They just get Sweltering Sun away.
Yeah.
Okay. Recycler.
With the cards in Mike's hand, it's going to be real tough. So he can try to put the Cartouche on a 3/3, or he can try to get the Thresher Lizard with an empty hand as creatures that would survive the Sweltering Suns. But keep in mind that Mike doesn't even know about the Sweltering Suns, so it would take a lot of either careful play or things breaking right for him to be able to survive that card being cast.
Yeah, exactly. And even if he does, he'll just have a 4/4 against Yui's 5/4 menace and 5/5 hexproof, so yeah, it might be rough.
Vizier of Tumbling Sand, certainly an all-star in this game.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of work.
Just acting as a manolith so far, but that's exactly what Huey needed. Both a fixer for the double-colored cards and a mana accelerant to get to his expensive spells ahead of schedule. But also, now that he has played out his creatures, he can start both attacking and using the Vizier to threaten a block with his bigger guys, particularly good with the striped with Riverwinder.
Yeah. Looks like we don't have updates on Hron's hand.
Okay. Sounds like Owen Turnwell's match is over, and Owen was the winner already.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, Owen has a really nice red-green beatdown deck.
Okay. Yeah, Richie's deck isn't great. He's like black-white, lots of mediocre cards.
Owen, of course, being the fierce Pro Tour competitor that he is, told me that his goal is not only to win today, but to win in the smallest possible amount of time so that he can go back to practicing for the Pro Tour. It sounds like he's making good on that so far.
Looks like this game won't last too long either.
So yeah, Mike's hand hasn't been updated, right? That's not a second Cartouche of Solidarity, or is it?
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the only 3 cards we know are the 3 red cards. So there's 2 mystery cards in his hand right now, which I'm guessing are not lands. But He is thinking for a while, so there might be something he can do. Maybe he has some combat tricks or something. And he's thinking about an attack.
So in the meantime, Yelger, is this your first time back in Japan for 5 or 6 years, like it is for me? Several of my first Pro Tours were in Japan, but they haven't had one here since I think it was 2011.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. Yeah, I actually don't really remember when the last time was I was in Japan. I might have skipped that Pro Tour 6 years ago. But yeah, it feels like it's been 10 years or so since I've been here. So I really enjoy being in Japan. I really like it here. So it's nice to be back.
I like it here too. The people are super nice. The food's good. The only thing is I always hit my head on the ceilings. It's
yeah, that's kind of
too small.
You have to duck down for every door.
How many times in your life have you come to Japan to play Magic?
I have no idea, to be honest. It's probably between 6 and 10 times.
That's a lot of times.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so we got 3 damage through, but now we're gonna get Sweltering Sunned.
So Mike can try to rebuild by eternalizing the Adorned Pouncer, and that's a pretty dangerous card. I mean, if there's a way to steal a game that looks like you're losing, having a giant double striking creature does open a few doors.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, he is under a very fast clock though, because he's taking 10 here, and then he kind of already has to block next turn.
Right, yeah, and Huey can even add a third 5-power creature.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So just eternalizing the Pouncer next turn won't really work.
Good point.
I'm expecting a scoop here pretty soon. We still have all red cards in hand. Looks like...
Okay, so that's game 1 in the books. Mana troubles for Mike, plus I think quite a strong draw from Huey. But let's get a look at the deck lists. We still can't see anything about Mike's deck, but you can get a look at Huey's. He's mostly blue and green, although that's complicated by the fact that several of his red cards are double red.
Yeah, that's an interesting splash there. Just 3 double red cards and 1 single red card. I guess he has a bunch of mana fixtures though. Mana list, the ritualists. Let's see what else.
The Vizier does help with double colors.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, his deck looks pretty good.
Yeah, so long as he gets his 3 colors, I think he has a good shot.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Hopefully Mike's draw will be a bit better here.
He also gets to be on the play.
Yeah. We still don't have his hand updated.
Yeah. This is what I want to see from Huey, though. Although it's not terribly exciting, he does have all his colors and the Seeker of Insight. So pretty much any non-land card he draws from here will be a really nice addition to his hand. And having a 2-drop against the white-red beatdown deck is an important part as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Looks like Mike kept his hand this time, so we'll see if he can get some beatdowns going.
So this is a fairly classic question that comes up in this format, is when you have your land drops and you have some plays to make, but you have one of these really expensive cycling creatures in your opening hand. Would you be looking to cycle the Striped Riverwinder in a hand like this, or just be patient and wait to hit 7 mana?
Since he has plays for the next 4 turns, I would wait for a little bit, see what develops. If he just draws a couple more lands, then he can just keep it and not plan on cycling it.
Mm-hmm. So decent spot for Huey. We don't know Mike's hand, but if he wants to attack through Seeker of Insight, he'll have to devote a card into the, invest a card into the Adored Pouncer, either a cartouche like last game, maybe a combat trick, but if he invests too much, Huey has Struggle to Survive, which will take care of at least the front side of Adorned Pouncer. Yeah. Potentially both sides, actually, if he uses the Survive half.
Yeah, no, indeed, yeah. A white cartouche still would have been pretty good on the Pouncer. It would get a lot of damage in before it gets dealt with.
Struggle to Survive is Huey's favorite card, by the way. He was raving the other day about how often he uses the Aftermath side to good effect, which is not my first guess. When I read that card, I was kind of like, oh, it's a really good removal spell, and the Aftermath, maybe that comes off 1 out of every 1,000 games. But he said, no, you erase their Eternalize and their Embalm stuff all the time. You can mess with the blue-red spells matters type decks. A lot of things come up.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of utility to that card. Hron decided to cartouche up his 3/1 and then attack with both creatures, so he must have some kind of trick here.
Yeah, certainly representing it.
Let's see what he has.
So Huey makes a block that doesn't force Mike's hand. Mike could just say, okay, get in his 4 damage from the Spearmaster and have the other 2 creatures bounce off each other. Yeah. But also Huey risks the creature that, he seems to be valuing a little bit less here.
Yeah, which makes sense. He can get some value from that looter if he starts casting removal spells. We got Ben Rubin in the background of my camera. He's
Hi, Ben.
He's got a nice kimono on, I think.
Thank you. Hello.
So Mike with 3 cards left in hand that we can't see because the hand cam's not working right now, but what would be really nice for him is a way to untap his Spearmaster and get additional attacks in. Something like a Sparring Mummy would be a perfect follow-up.
Well, he didn't exert, right? He just attacked for 4.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, he didn't even have to exert because of the cartouche.
It seems likely that the Spearmaster is going to get killed this turn, though. We can deal 4 to it with Struggle. Is that what it's called? Struggle, yeah.
4 damage is a nice spot here because most of the common combat tricks pump +1 or 2 toughness. There's Jeru's Resolve, which could be troublesome. But part of the reason Huey decided not to main phase this is he, if Mike makes a similar attack with the Adorned Pouncer, threatening a combat trick, Huey gets to have his mana open.
Yeah, plus he gets to potentially block with his looter here and then still loot. If he would struggle on his own turn, he would either have to leave the looter back as a blocker or he would loot on his own turn. So
great point. Yeah, that looks important in this situation.
Yeah, it could cost him a lot of damage. Let's see if Mike has anything.
And that's another, free value of the Aftermath side of Struggle to Survive. It is just a spell to trigger your Seeker of Insight ability.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything in Mike's deck that does anything here, so I'm not sure what he's thinking about. His only combat trick is the +2/+2 and untap the creature. Maybe he boarded in something though that I don't know about.
Ritualist is a decent find here since it's a good body to have as a ground blocker, and also can make sure Huey will cast anything that he draws, potentially even 2 spells in the same turn if he needs to.
Yeah, it's a fine draw.
Okay, Frontline Devastator, certainly an annoying creature, but I would predict he's breathing a sigh of relief there since he didn't get too punished for the shields down moment of tapping out.
Yeah, nah, sure. Yeah, it's a good creature for Hron, but yeah, still he doesn't have any good attacks, and he really wants to be attacking with his deck, so he just gets to keep developing his board, and it's getting harder and harder to get through with Hron small creatures.
So if I know Huey, he'll be planning pretty carefully. He's not gonna rush into anything, not really gonna try to go for a win yet, but he's going to look for a removal spell. Sweltering Suns would be the best one, and try to cast that and wipe up the Adorned Pouncer with the aftermath of Struggle Survive. In the meantime, he can pass with Oasis Ritualist untapped and Supreme Will as insurance against some kind of crazy, combat trick or pre-combat spell that's going to allow Mike to attack.
Yeah, makes sense. I likely wouldn't have been as patient. I would have probably just played the Titan here. But yeah, I guess the Titan won't be attacking anytime soon anyway, so it's probably good to just play carefully and keep up the counterspell.
Now, if Mike doesn't play anything that you need to counter, would you cash in the Supreme Will for the impulse side of it, or just continue, valuing it as the mana leak?
I think because of the Sweltering Suns, I'd be more likely to impulse, because getting to that card is just so powerful.
Right. Okay, this hurts. Blur of Blades. Efficient removal spell, deals Huey 2 damage, and allows the Frontline Devastator to attack potentially.
You want to go check that out, Brock?
Been expecting someone, Ben?
Yeah, looks like Hron might be contemplating an attack with more creatures. Okay.
Okay, Adorned Pouncer coming in as well. I wonder if this is just because he wants it to die to be able to eternalize it as a bigger creature.
Yeah, that seems very likely to me. The Pouncer isn't doing anything on this board really, and if he gets to bring it back as a 4/4 double striker, that could really change the board a lot.
Ordinarily, this attack would be really scary from Huey's perspective because the Pouncer coming in is at least a hint that maybe Mike has a combat trick. It's not certain or anything like that, but a double block like this when you could get blown out by a combat trick is scary. We know, however, that Huey has Supreme Will to protect himself if Mike does have something like +2/+2 and untap.
Yeah, this is working out pretty well for Mike, though. We're happy to trade for the Ritualist, and we get in for 4 damage. Would you impulse at the end of turn, or would you cycle the Titan maybe?
Like you said, I wouldn't have the patience, although I know that the way Huey likes to play is, he's going to value a card like a counterspell on this board state. But the thing is, Mike's playing a really low curve beatdown deck, and he has 5 lands in play already. In a turn or two, might have 6 lands, and then sometimes you might even not be able to counter the crucial spell. So I really like cashing in for the impulse, especially since, like you said, finding Sweltering Suns would completely change the dynamic of this game.
Yeah, makes sense, and looks like Yui came to the same conclusion. He gets to see a lot of cards if he wants to. It's 4 here, then he gets a loot, another cycle.
Interesting sequencing thing here. He did have the option to cast the Supreme Will and respond by looting. I'm not sure where the information is more valuable when you're either when you're deciding between your top 4 cards or when you're deciding what to discard. But that's something that you could at least take a moment to think about.
Yeah, no, sure. What do you think is correct?
I think it's correct to look at the top 4 first in this situation. If he had a card in his hand that was just really bad and he knew almost for sure that was what he was going to discard, then I would like taking the draw first and then looking at the top 4. But the toughest decision on that turn is likely going to be what to discard when you loot. So giving himself the most information for that is good.
Yeah, makes sense. And he found a
Sweltering Suns. So this turn he can go Sweltering Suns and Aftermath on Struggle Survive, get rid of the Adorn Pouncer for good, leave Mike with just 1 card, and it's a fairly decent spot for Huey.
Yeah, seems like a very good spot, especially with this. No, he's not going to Sweltering Suns yet. It's interesting.
How much does the survive side cost on Struggle to Survive?
I believe it's just a green and 1. Yeah, 2 mana total. So yeah, I think I would have liked seeing him play Sweltering Sun there. That seemed better to me.
He might be thinking that the longer he can wait, the more chances he has to deploy 4 toughness creatures, and the more chances Mike has to play additional weenie creatures.
Yeah, which is fair. And yeah, if something goes wrong here, he does have the puncturing blow, or is that what it's called? Puncturing something?
Yeah, puncturing blow.
Yeah, to deal with any problem creatures. So it's not too dangerous what he's doing.
I love this block, just putting the creature that's going to die to Sweltering Sun sooner or later anyway, in front of the Adorn Pouncer.
Seems like this is just a jump attack though, where Hron is just looking to eternalize his Pouncer.
Huey's fine with this because he had the puncturing blow. Just let Mike throw away a creature and spend his turn. And puncturing blow will take care of it.
Does he have any double blue in his deck? I guess he might.
I don't know the answer to that, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing that I can think of.
He might want to play 2 blue cards in a turn, so it makes sense to...
Yeah, in particular, when he played Vizier of the Anointed, he put Talkrop Skirmisher in his graveyard.
That's right, yeah.
You want to embalm that and then play another spell.
Yeah.
So Mike's got to make something happen. This game is slipping away from him, and that something needs to be better than just putting more weenie creatures onto the table.
He has some flyers. He has the 4/4 flyer for 6 that cycles, so that would be a good play here.
That would be perfect. Yeah, and there it is.
It's nice. Yeah, that's a fast clock, and Yui doesn't have an answer currently.
So to rewind a couple turns, if Huey had made the play of Sweltering Suns plus survive, then he could have still had Puncturing Blow in hand to beat a big flyer like this.
Yeah.
But his logic certainly made sense at the time. It's just proving to not work out the way he wanted it to.
See if Hron is careful with his flyer and doesn't block with it. Looks like he is. Yeah, good. This Angel's such a clear path to victory that you shouldn't put it in harm's way.
Right, and I think an attack like that from Huey, is a signal. I think both players know what's going on here.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
So Huey's put together a respectable clock of his own with the Granitic Titan. He has a few... Wow, Desert's hold that's strong here. No Desert for Mike, but his life total is not in jeopardy. And he gets to now attack for 6, put Huey within 1 more attack of that Angel of the God Pharaoh.
Yeah, he'll have to find an answer this turn. So he gets to either cycle or embalm something, then draw a card. Does he have an ambuscade or something? Any outs?
He might have Unquenchable Thirst.
Okay, sure.
But no, the Angel's going to take care of it. Get a game 3.
Yeah, I thought we were getting crushed that game, but somehow Mike pulled it out.
Yeah, the Angel of the God Pharaoh was just perfect. Had it been the Winged Shepherd, it would have died to Sweltering Suns. Had it been some kind of ground creature, Huey could have multi-blocked, but the 4/4 flyer was just everything that he needed all in one card.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Such a fast clock, and it was resilient to Yui's removal that he had available to him. Okay. We got our first game.
It seems like Huey was drawing to only Unquenchable Thirst on that last turn.
Okay.
Doesn't have an unsummon or anything like that.
No, sure. Yeah, it makes sense then that he embalmed his zombie instead of cycling the Sweltering Suns. Though, yeah. You could have drawn Cycle card into Quenchable Thirst.
That's true.
It's an interesting hand. Would you keep this?
I would. He has no green mana, which is a shame, but he has at least a 3-drop that he can play on turn 3. Greater Sandworm, which he can cycle to get a little closer to a forest. I think it's not going to be his favorite hand, but well within the realm of being keepable.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm sure he has a lot of forests in his deck as well, so he probably has 8 or 9 green sources.
Drawing one on turn 1 would make this a great hand, since you would get to curve Initiate's Companion into one of his 3-drops.
Yeah.
But even if he finds it on turn 4, it's a functional hand.
Yeah, no, yeah. He has some time.
Having his double red all set to allow him to draw into Sweltering Suns is really big in this matchup, too.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow, he decided to play Basic Mountain, which now that I stop to think about it makes a lot of sense, because if he draws Forest, then he'll have his 3 lands all set and won't need to worry about playing Desert of the Fervent right away. But if he doesn't, then he has 2 mana free with nothing to do this turn, and cycling the Desert makes perfect sense.
Yeah, he does have the Sandworm to cycle as well, but yeah, I guess he just wants to make sure he has all his cycling cards available to him if he doesn't find that forest, so he can maximize his chance of getting there.
I would like to see him cycle the Sandworm first in case he does draw Sweltering Suns or Puncturing Blow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did Mike miss a land drop?
Kind of looks like it, yeah.
Maybe he clicked through his turn or something. Or maybe he kept a speculative hand. He was on the draw.
Yeah.
But he did not mulligan. He's got 8 cards in hand. He's going to his discard.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. And it looks like Billy found his forest.
Well, in either case, it's not good news for Team Goat Stew.
Yeah.
Especially with the Ophidian creature coming down.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have a land drop and a creature here, we're pretty much dead, or at least we're gonna get locked out of this game pretty fast if Billy gets to draw a bunch of extra cards.
Violent Impact, nice sideboard card.
Yeah.
So he decided to play his desert there to set up for Granitic Titan, the double red in 2 turns.
Yeah. And looks like we still don't have a land drop. Well, I guess we do.
Unfortunately, a creature that can't block either of Huey's guys.
Yeah.
Unquenchable Thirst can take care of either this Minotaur or Mike's next blocker. This way Huey doesn't have to exert and he can get more damage over the course of 2 turns.
Yeah. Plus the first striker is a very good blocker for his initiate companion as well, so it makes sense to get that out of the way.
Yep.
And all his mana is going to be tied up next turn for the Titan. So yeah, I like playing it there.
All right, a good start for Peach Garden Oath. I like to see that. Yelger and I will be in the trenches next round. I'm not sure who's taking our spot for commentary, but you'll be in good hands, and hopefully you'll stay tuned to watch Yelger and I do battle.
We're going to fight next, Reed?
I don't know if we play each other, but we'll both be playing, and at least one of us will be on camera. Okay, it sounds like it's going to be me versus Rich on camera next.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, good luck, Yelger. It's nice doing commentary with you, and
Yeah, good luck to you.
see you when we get our match later on.
Yep. Bye, Reed.
Looking for a challenge? Magic Online